Hello everyone, welcome back to Stitches with Charly Feathers. This is Flosstube 21, I believe. And yeah, it's lovely to be back after 2 week break. So just thinking when I was last back with you. Oh, I did the kit parade and it seems that lots of you enjoyed that video. Thank you so much for all your kind comments and messages. It was really lovely to talk to you. So I'm back today with 3 finishes, 1 finished object, some whips, a stitch along that's going to be coming up soon I'm going to talk to you about, stitchy kindness, and a little bit of haul. Not too much, I've been trying to be good because I've got Stitch in London that I'm going to be paying for every month now, so trying to be well behaved and not be too enabled by people. You know who you are. Anyway, let's get kicked straight off and we'll talk about this one. So this is a finished object and this is a pattern. Well, it was a pattern that was gifted to me by Jess at the Geeky Stitching Company, and it's called Small Steps Every Day. She does now have this listed as a PDF in her online shop, and I'll make sure that I'll link that down below. And I stitched this on, I'm pretty sure it was a 27 count Zweigart in vintage country mocha, and I used all the called for colours except the green. I think I swapped that one out. I can't remember what green I swapped it for. It was a more vibrant green and I wanted a more forest toned green, so I swapped that one out, and I think I may have changed some of these borders up here. I think I made a mistake, like didn't read the pattern properly, but I liked the way it looked, so I just left it. I think it might have been these bits here. I think on one of the borders they were meant to be white, but I like it, so I kept it. And I finished this one in the hoop. So I sort of gathered together the excess fabric in the back with some strong sewing thread, and then I cut out a piece of adhesive mount board and attached this fabric to it, and then hot glued it onto the back, and then hot glued on one of my little labels. So yeah, I'm really pleased with how that's turned out. I think it's a really lovely finish. Okay, and then we've got 3 finishes. So the first one is Blooming Swan. This is a pattern by Max of Pigeon Coop Designs. I only found out recently he is actually called Max Pigeon. That's his name. I just never realised it's such a cool name, isn't it? And I stitched this on a piece of 32 count. It was antique white Zweigart, but I dyed it with some dye-on dyes. I can't remember what blue it is. If you really want to know, then message me and I can tell you what dye powder I used. And I stitched this with all fancy flosses, mainly Tom and Lily, but there was also some classic colourworks in there, and some River Hut designs. I think there might have been another one. I can't remember off the top of my head. But yeah, if you want to know what flosses I used, then just message me and I can let you know. But I just adore how this turned out. I think it's so pretty. I think I'm going to frame this one and put it on the bird wall in my front room. But yeah, I just need to look for a frame for it. I think I'm going to frame it in white. I've got all of the birds in white on that wall, and I think it will really look nice with the swan. The nice white mount as well. Okay, the next one is, let me move these flowers out of the way. Thought they'd look nice there, but they just end up being a nuisance. So this is the original Dreaming Girl. I think she's called Dreaming Girl Winter by Barbara Anna Designs, and I stitched this on Zweigart 32 count. I think the shade is called Colonial Blue, Sorry if that upsets anyone. I'm not sure if they have actually changed the name of this fabric. I hope they have. But at the time of buying this 4 years ago, I know it was called Colonial Blue. And I stitched it on this fabric because the called for that azure blue was out of stock at the time. So I went for the next blue that I could find. And as I say, this was my first ever whip. I started this in February 2021, and this was the start of my cross stitching journey, where this popped up on my Instagram feed when I was a knitter at the time, and I just fell in love with it and had to buy it and had to stitch it. And looking back on it now, that was no mean feat to go straight on to even weave, 2/2, but I just had no idea what I was doing. And basically I'd stitched this top part of the hair and filled it all in. I'd done her face and her shoulders, and then I got to this section here, and as you can see, I had an instant with the frog. I didn't know how to frog properly at the time, and I used embroidery scissors. Shock horror. And no surprise, I got a hole in the fabric here. I was so gutted at the time. I was really, really upset. I kind of put it in the naughty corner and thought about what I was going to do. And Azure Blue, which it was originally designed on, came back in stock. So I ordered another piece and I stitched it again. I was nogmas at that point because it was my first project. And I stitched it from start to finish. And I've got that framed above my stitchy desk, so I look at it all the time. And then after the last Flosstube, Stitchy Sally was showing this finished on her Flosstube, and I thought, gosh, I really must dig that piece out and work on it and try and get this problem fixed. So what I did was, this fabric hasn't been edged, as you can see, so I took threads out from the piece and I wove them where the hole was to kind of repair it basically and give me an area that I could stitch over. Can I go any lower? So yeah, you can see that it's woven in there, but to be honest, now the whole piece is stitched, I don't think it's actually that noticeable. So you can see here that I managed to stitch over that dodgy area. The stitches are a bit bigger, but it doesn't bother me. Once I'd got that bit there done, I moved over and I finished all the rest of it in the hair. And I just love it so much. I'm really glad that I never gave up on this project. So what I'm going to do is I am going to interface the whole thing, the back of this. You can tell this was my first project, and what's interesting is you can see where I started, it's all just a big mess, and then this is like me stitching now. Well, my technique's just improved so much, which is nice to see. So yeah, I'm going to put some interfacing all over the back, just to, you know, stabilize that area in particular, and I'm going to make this into a project bag. I think I'm going to look for sort of a pink from these flowers or the house as a contrasting fabric. I'm going to take it to the fabric shop and see what I can find. And yeah, I'm going to make it into a project bag so I could admire it and use it and be proud of my first ever whip that I never gave up on. And the last finished object is this one. Just move you up so you can see the whole thing. This is All Things Grow with Love, and this was kindly gifted to me as a gift box from the Historical Sampler Company, and it was a 4-part stitch along that was released one part was released every 2 weeks. So over the period of 8 weeks you were given the whole pattern. I've stitched this on 32 count white linen from Swigart, which came in the kit. They now give you an option for linen or Ada. And I stitched it exactly as called for, except this area here. I decided this would be a really lovely wedding sampler for my friend who got married last December. and she knows about it. I've already shared a picture and she's really, really happy with it. I just wanted to check what frame she wanted, but she's happy for me to go with what I think. I think I'm going to go for a distressed white square frame. So I need to go and have a look for one at the framers when I'm next in town. So yeah, I charted this date in here in between the bees, and then this flower I moved down. This took quite a few frogging attempts to get this right, both the date and the flower. And these stems and leaves here, I just like stitched as I went, like improvised it as I went. So I had to change the petal shape because there just wasn't enough room for the leaves that were designed in the pattern. And yeah, just to make sure that it fit in this space. So the stem would normally be a lot longer than this because obviously the flower would be up here. But apart from the date and this flower, everything is as it was designed in the pattern. And it's just so striking and beautiful. And I've got quite a bit of linen left on the bottom there to use for another project. So yeah, I'm looking forward to getting this one completely finished and then giving it to my friend to hang in her house, because it's a bit overdue, isn't it? Now it's April. Okay, we'll move on to the whips. So I did work a little bit on this one, which is South Wind by Piena. This came as a complete kit. Oh, I think I've made you a bit wonky now. There we go. So yeah, I think I did more of the hair since I last showed this to you. And I think I might have put her face in, I can't remember, but I've definitely worked on the hair. And she's just so beautiful. I really love stitching people, and especially people in nature, which you'll know if you've been here, you know, for a little bit of time. But I'm really pleased with how that one's progressing along, and I am looking forward to picking it up again soon. The next one is in my spooky bag. Oh. And I worked a little bit on this. This is called Night Garden by Biena Pieza, and I will put a picture in of what it will look like when it's finished. And this is on a piece of 32 count Zweigart even weave, which I hand dyed myself with Dylon dye again. And I really like how mottled this fabric is. And I worked on this flower here and stitched this owl as well. So only a little bit of progress, but any progress is progress, and the colour's just absolutely beautiful on this piece. I'm really looking forward to working more on this one as well. The badger and the owl, so cute. Okay, the bloody felines, as Yas would call them, came out to play for a little while. This is Nepalese Sobe bags. Oh. Such a huge piece of fabric. And yeah, I've been doing a bit more filling in on this yellow body, but it's just so slow. Really, really slow, but I just need to crack on and fill this in, and then I can move on more to the next cat. It's just so boring. It's so boring to stitch this one. I really loved stitching this cat, but this yellow one's just dragged and dragged. I think I'll feel more motivated once the rest of that yellow is filled in and I can move on to the next stripy cat, which is blue and yellow. Yeah, I think I'm just fed up with stitching with this colour. It's just dragging. Okay, my next whip is in my charity shop bag. I think I showed in my haul. And I've got this really lovely notions pouch from Lindsay at Wolfie Stitches. And yeah, I can show these to you. This is something that I've made recently. So I was really struggling to get some papers, decorative papers, to make floss drops for this project. I did order some really lovely vintage looking black and white moon decorative papers from eBay, but they never arrived and I ended up getting a refund. And then I thought, I can just make some of my larger size floss drops that are jelly printed myself, and just drew inspiration from the pattern to come up with some colours that sort of matched either the sky or the moon or the greenery from the trees. And there's also going to be a stream here. So yeah, just use the piece for some inspiration really. And this lovely needle minder came from Laura at Cotton and Clay. I asked her if she could make me a commissioned needle minder because I just wanted something matched. I asked her for different yellows and some glitter and gold, and she definitely provided. Thank you, Laura. And I'm just so happy with how this is looking. I think this is around 10% finished. So this is the start of the trees coming in here. But aren't all these greens here beautiful, and in the tree? And this is the start of the moon here. Again, I'll pop in a picture of what this will look like when it's finished. And I have got another needle winder from Laura that was custom made with the same batch, because she made about 6 for me to choose from, and I bought 2 of them. Did I say that one was called Moon Magic? I'm not sure that's what it's called. I can't remember who the designer is, but I'll put it in the description bar below. Okay, my next whip is this one. This is one that I started on Sunday, so I've worked on this in 2 sessions. I think I'm just over 1,000 stitches now. And yeah, this is the other needle minder that Laura at Cotton and Clay made for me. Isn't it beautiful, the tree? And this pattern was fully enabled by Laura at I Stitch Birds. She quite often chats to me on Instagram and enables me with all these lovely patterns that she buys and that she shares with me. And if she sees one that is like a Charly Feathers pattern, she sends it to me straight away. So Moon Magic that I just showed you, that was one that Laura sent me, and this was one that she sent to me. I think she sent it to me on Friday. I bought it straight away and I started it on Sunday. So yeah, it's called Windy Mood and it's by Made For You, I think it's called. Again, I'll put it in the description bar down below. Really, really lovely pattern. As I say, I love stitching people, especially in nature with these birds. And it's got this beautiful waves here from the sea, and then some really lovely greenery with some plants, and then her hair is all flowing out here with flowers in as well, which you'll be able to see from the picture. And this has been such a wonderful stitch. I've really, really enjoyed it. I'm glad I'm using Pattern Keeper again for this one, as it is more full coverage, and it has got full crosses. It's got half crosses in one strand, half crosses with 2 strands. It's got fractional stitches like here, and there was some fractional in the burrs, and there is some fractionals in the hair as well. So that's kept me on my toes, and I am a bit worried about my fractionals in this bit because I didn't do it in the best lighting, but I think once it's back stitched over, it will look absolutely fine. So I'm trying not to stress about it. I know fractionals are not my strong point, and I'm only going to get better with practice, so I just need to keep practicing. That's what I keep telling myself anyway. So most of her face is in now. I've started on the hair, the birdies are done. I just want to work a bit more on her legs, and then I'm going to start, and her scarf. She's got a scarf coming out here. So once I've filled in those bits, I'm going to start doing some back stitch, because this piece is just going to come to life, isn't it? I'm going to do a before and an after picture and share that once I've done some back stitching. But oh, she's just glorious. And I'm using some lovely floss. It's all the called for DMC. And these are some papers that I made into floss drops. I found these lovely papers in the charity shop, and I made a few sets to give away to friends, but I didn't quite have enough. There was more colours in this than called for. There was more colours called for than I have floss drops for, so I just used a few of my Moon Magic ones. And there's a few flosses in here that I've stolen from another project. So they've got different decorative papers, but oh, I love this project so much. She's beautiful, isn't she? Okay, the last whip that I've got to share with you is my lovely bag from the Fox's Cottage, and this was my new start on Saturday. This is a bit of a mess. I haven't sorted this out properly. So you'll remember that I shared the Geeky Stitching You Can Do Hard Things. Well, me and Kim have been talking. Kim Stitchy Squirrels. See, I told you my flosses were a mess because I haven't got floss drops. I've been working from my seahorse floss holder that I used for You Can Do Hard Things. So I've just kind of used the ones that are relevant from that pattern, like the greens. And then the rest I've just got on these bobbins. It's just got such a mess on this little tray. But yeah, me and Kim were chatting last week and just said how miserable the weather is for spring. It's just non-stop wind and rain here in Cornwall, apart from the occasional day where it's a bit sunny and spring-like, and then it'll be back to rain and grey skies again. It's quite hard going at the moment, and don't feel very motivated to get out in the garden and grow things, but hopefully it's going to be improving. It has been a bit more settled the last few days. So me and Kim decided to do this pattern as a stitch along, and this is called April Showers Bring May Flowers. It's a PDF pattern from Jess's shop, the Geeky Stitching Company, and I think I paid $3.99 for this PDF, so it's relatively inexpensive. And I'm using all the called for DMC, and I'm stitching it on a 32 count Zweigart, which I hand dyed with Dylon dye again. I used this same dye for Blooming Swan, and when I was going through my fabrics the other day, and Kim had suggested to stitch it on this blue because I gifted a piece of fabric, the same Blooming Swan fabric I gifted to Kim a little while ago. So she said, oh, well, I'm thinking about stitching that little frog on that piece of fabric that you dyed for me. So I said, oh, that's such a great idea. I'm not sure that I've got any left. So when I was going through my fabric stash the other day, I found 2 more pieces that I dyed that were less mottled, but were still equally lovely. So I thought, oh, I'll join Kim and I'll stitch it with her on that fabric. I think hers is maybe a bit more turquoise as well. And yeah, Kim's also started it. I'm trying to think what hashtag we are using. I'm not sure. I'll put it at the bottom of the screen so it flashes up. If anyone wants to join us, then you're more than welcome. Just use the hashtag and maybe message me and Kim and let us know. But yeah, Kim's going to put in a rainbow umbrella, and I really like that idea, so I think I'm going to copy her on that one. But yeah, I just stitched on this on Saturday, so I got some really good progress. I think Kim's a bit further ahead than me because she stitched on it a couple of days. I have noticed this section is wrong. I need to frog this stem and this flower and get it back to where it should be. Or I might just try and fudge it. I'll decide. But yeah, love this. And I love her. I love Jess's patterns. They're so beautifully simplistic, and they're so lovely to stitch in between the more complicated or more full coverage pieces. It's a nice palette cleanser, and the colours that she uses are so vibrant. He's just, how can he not make you smile? He's so cheerful, isn't he? Oh, and I forgot to say that frog and toe needle minder is from Jana at Don't Step on Your Needle. Oh, so that's all of my whips. So let's talk to you about the upcoming stitch along. So I was really kindly contacted by the Historical Sampler Company again, and they asked me if I would be interested in doing their new SAL, which starts on the 12th of May, and it's going to be in 4 parts again, which are released every 2 weeks. These are the lovely Floss colours. I've got these on my my Kate Blanford floss holders, and I didn't quite have enough. There were 16 colours and I only had 15 of the flowers, so I put the other one on the other Kate Blanford that I got free with the frog kit from Geeky Stitching Company. So yeah, gorgeous colours. You also got this really lovely little notions pouch, and inside this box, what have I got in here? Oh, a needle and a really lovely magnetic needle minder, a little house. You got these really lovely wooden heart floss drops. You get 4 of those on the ring. And I opted for the 32 count linen again. And you can get it on Ada, but oh, they look so nice on white, those colours, don't they? Oh, sorry, it starts on the 13th of May. So this is what the floss and the fabric came in. So the SAL is called Do More of What Makes You Happy. It's a collaboration with Emma Congdon, who is known as Stitch Rovia. And yeah, she designed the last one that I showed in Finished Objects as well, the All Things Grow with Love. That was also with Stitch Rovia as a collaboration with the Historical Sampler Company. And then inside the gift box also there was some non-vegan goodies. There was like a little cute felted birdhouse. There was a really lovely white chocolate sweet lollipop. I'm trying to think what else there was. Oh, some beeswax thread conditioner from Solux Company. I think that was it. So a really lovely gift box, and I was so grateful they reached out to me and asked if I would be interested in joining, and I'm really looking forward to the start of this SAL. I'm all prepared and ready to go. I just need to get a nerd hoop ready. So yeah, really kind of them. And the pre-orders are now open, so you can either order the gift box. Last time I checked, there was still some available. I think it's £72 in the UK for the gift box, which includes the fabric, the floss, and the pattern, and all of those other things I just showed or mentioned. Or you can also just buy the pattern if you want to. I think it's £15. So, you know, it is affordable if you just wish to kit it up yourself and get the PDF chart, which is what I've done with the stitch alongs in the past when I haven't been gifted them. So yeah, I just thought I'd mention that. That was some lovely stitchy kindness from the Historical Sampler Company. What other stitchy kindness did I get? This lovely package arrived yesterday from Lorna. Lovely Lorna, who I mention in nearly every video. I sent some bits to Lorna and she sent me a lovely card back. She sent me some lovely salted caramel oat milk chocolate from Chocofair. I've already nibbled some. It's gorgeous. And she sent me this lovely, oh, it's fading into the background there a bit, isn't it? It's this lovely wooden laser etched, I think this is called, isn't it? Flower decoration. I just love it so much. I also received a really lovely postcard from Natalie at Home Handmade. I always struggle with your name. I don't know why. Sorry, Natalie. And then some haul. I went into the charity shop the other day and I found this really lovely bag. They charged me £1.99 for this. It's this really lovely drawstring bag. It's just the same on the back. But I don't know what all these little pockets are for. If anyone knows, then let me know. I did ask on my Instagram, and some people said it's for knitting. But I've been a knitter for quite a bit of my life. I've never come across a bag like this. Someone else said maybe an advent calendar. I don't know. Maybe for your kitchen to put bits in. If it's on the back of a door, maybe. That's the other thing I was thinking. In there, I've got my winter cabin, which I haven't worked on, but I'm really desperate to get back to this. Actually, I would really like to get back to stitching on it. This one, I think I will try and get this out this week because lovely Laura at I Stitch Birds, we've got a hashtag going called melancholy stitching. So anything that is melancholy that we stitch, you can use that hashtag as well. But like Laura, I like to do landscape scenes, and I like quite moody and winter scenes like this one. So yeah, I really am going to try and pick that up this week. Lovely Yasmin over at Yasmins Made with Love. She had her first batch of project bags, and I could not resist this one. Isn't it absolutely gorgeous? So these are all Yasmin's hand stitched panels, and she's used some really lovely sturdy interfacing on these. It feels like foam interfacing, and a really nice charm, nice label. The back's plain. Haven't put, oh, look at that lovely flower charm. So yeah, Yasmin has still got some project bags on her Shopify shop. I'll put the link down below, but keep an eye out. I think she's having an update again. I think it's either today or tomorrow with some new products. I think there's going to be some little notion pouches, needle books, and some more project bags. So yeah, definitely keep your eye out for those. Yaz always uses such lovely fabrics. Oh, did I show this? I can't remember. I may have done. If I have, then I'm sorry. I do apologise. I bought this from eBay. It's a Lizzy Kate, and it's called Tea Crazy 134. And it's these really lovely 3 little charts. I love these. I've been eyeing them up on 123 Stitch for ages, and I just took the plunge. I'm eyeing up another pattern actually on 123 Stitch at the moment. I'll put a picture of it here. Never heard of this designer before, and I can't even remember their name now off the top of my head. But I saw these on Instagram. Again, can't remember who I saw them from, but they'd stitched them and they look absolutely gorgeous. So I'm waiting for them to come back in stock. I've set up the email notification, but yeah, I feel a 123 Stitch order coming on soon. And then I've had some really good charity shop haul the last week or so. So there's a charity shop in the next town to me, Red Roof, and all the clothing is in there is £1, and all of the other items are like 3 for £1. So things like these cross stitch magazines, they're all 3 for £1. So I've picked up a couple of these cross stitch magic magazines. I think I read somewhere these are from the 90s. Maybe I've got that wrong. But inside this one you get this really pretty kit for a rosebud sachet with everything that you need. And then you get these little pattern books. I love that one. Stitchy Sally would like that. I'm definitely going to stitch that. I really like those. I really like the dragonfly, and that sample is quite sweet. Don't know if I'll stitch it, but I do like it. And then you get a book which tells you more about the patterns. I'll try to see if there's a date on here. Oh, 2002. And then in this one, you got this kit here. I picked this up for Anita, Violet Stitcher mainly, because she loves purple and she loves dragons. So I think that was the main reason I picked this one up. Them shells are gorgeous. That reminds me of Marumi Craft, something that she would sign. That's pretty, isn't it? I like these borders of the roses. This one's from 2002 as well, and again a little magazine that tells you more about the patterns. And then because it was 3 for £1, I picked up this little cute card pack as well. I thought these birdies were really sweet, and the little heart, and you get everything that you need in there. The flosses and the fabric and the felt. I think there's fabric in there. And then I went to the charity shop the other day at the weekend on Saturday where I got the sheep bag from. I picked up these lovely kits. So this reminds me of Wolfie Stitches Lindsay, because she likes a lot of the Dale designs by Rose Swalewell. I paid £1.50 for this one. It's called Pack Horse Bridge. So I'll probably stitch this one up and then send it over to Lindsay. But it's a full kit. Looks like even weave. Oh no, it's 18 count Ada. And yeah, the threads need a bit of sorting. They're just in the bundle, you know, like oh, the word's lost me. Them bead kits. Oh, I can't think what it's called. Mill Hill. Just like the Mill Hill kits where you have to organise them yourself. So it's going to be one of those jobs. So I have to do that when I've got a bit of brain power. And then I also picked up this one. This is a DMC kit from Sharon Jervis, and it's called Avocets. And I just thought this was so pretty. I paid £2 for this. And I didn't realise at the time. This is funny. So I opened it when I got in the car, and there's this old zipped poppered pouch in there, and look, there's someone's paper clips and all sorts of stuff in there, so I need to go through that at some point. But yeah, they have actually started this project. They got quite far on it, so I'm not quite sure why they gave up on it. But yeah, I will start it again and stitch it. I really love this one. I showed it to Laura at I Stitch Birds, and she said, isn't that beak really fun? There is actually still a needle in there. I don't know if it's gone all rusty. Oh, it has a bit on the fabric. I think so. Yeah, so I'll start that again. And I just remembered a tiny bit more haul, which I'm going to go and grab. So these are my last 2 bits of haul. Lovely Jana at Don't Step on Your Needle, who I spoke about a few times on my channel recently. I hope I was saying your name right. Apologies if I'm not. She had an Instagram post up saying that for every order, a free needle minder would be given. So of course I couldn't resist that. I bought a really lovely custard cream needle minder, which I've already gifted to Lorna. And I bought this lovely cottage in the woods with the pumpkins in the garden. Isn't it lovely? And there's a little crow on that tree stump as well. And then I got this one for free, which I love. I'm going to give this, I think, to someone who I know loves cats. And I did see that they Don't Step on Your Needle has put up a post about their April needle minder and scissor of the month club. It looks really nice this month. The scissor club. There's a really nice zipper pull. I know Kim's already bought it, but I've been resisting it the last couple of nights. I just don't know if I'm going to be able to resist it for much longer. Anyway, I'm going to get my other tripod and turn you around, and I can announce the giveaway winner and just talk about some plans briefly. So I'll see you in a minute. Hello! Welcome back. Well, it's just been a minute for you, but not for me. I'll take my glasses off, they're glaring a bit, aren't they? So, just to announce the giveaway of the Moonlight Meadow kit by Emma Louise Art Stitch. This is a complete kit with the even weave. And I'm really pleased to announce that the winner is Talking Dog Stitcher, which is really lovely. If you'd like to send me a message on Instagram or send me an email to the email address that's in the description bar, and once you give me your address I can post that off to you, and I really hope that you love stitching it. What else have I got to tell you? So yeah, plans coming up. I really want to work a bit more on my cabin in the winter scene. I'd quite like to work on my Moon Magic a bit more. And I've got the stitch along starting on the 13th of May with Historical Sampler Company, so I've got lots to look forward to. And this Thursday I am off to Exeter for the day for a work event, which I'm really looking forward to. Lovely Stitchy, not Stitchy, Sally, lovely Sally. Hello Sally, Flossie Sews and Grows. I'm part of her team, so she will be there, and yeah, hopefully we can have quite a good chat about stitching. But what I'm looking forward to most of all, I guess, is just to be on my own on a train for, well, it'll be 5 hours that day, 'cause it's 2.5 hours there, 2.5 hours back. So I'll have 5 hours of stitching time on my own. So that will be lovely. Um, and yeah, I'm really looking forward to the day. It's going to be lovely to see Sally again. I haven't seen her since October when I met her at Stitch in London. Yeah, I hope you've all survived half term. It's been half term here in the UK. My girls were not very well at the last week of school term. Or they're only in school 3 days a week because they go to Steiner Inspired School. But they got really run down that week with the virus, and then it took them a good week and a half to recover. Yeah, it was not very nice. And I was a bit unwell at the beginning of that as well, just with the cold, and yeah, it just wasn't very nice. I think I was still maybe recovering from that when I recorded the kit parade video. But yeah, my husband took them away to his parents' caravan in Dorset, so they went to the Jurassic coastline and went to some museums there, and yeah, I think they had a really lovely time despite being a bit under the weather. And I had 4 days at home on my own, so I did lots of making and stitching and just general tidying around the house. That's quite difficult to get done with 2 kids here. And then once the girls were all better, once they got home, we've been to the Maritime Museum here. They always have lovely activities on in the half term. We've been to the beach. We had a friend visit from Manchester, which was really lovely, that we've not seen for a good while. And went for ice cream. That was lovely. Trying to think what else we did. Oh, we did have a really nice second week of the half term once they were better. It was really nice. Oh, and they had a birthday party in the park last Friday, and it was really, really warm. Like, I was glad the girls had sun hats on because I felt like I was burning, which was the first time this year. But luckily, my friend had some nice suntan lotion so I could just protect my neck a little bit. I'd already got SPF on my face because I put it on every day, but I just hadn't put anything on my neck. And I'd got a pair of the kids' leggings out of my rucksack and like draped them over my neck. And my friend said, "What's that?" And I said, "Oh, my neck's burning." She said, "Oh, I'll have some of this suntan lotion." So I was a bit grateful for that because I'm quite fair skinned and I burn easily. So yeah, there's plans to get out recording in the woods. The ground's still really wet, so I didn't want to today. And I know a couple of you have been a bit worried about me recording out in the woods again, but I have got my microphone now, so I think things will be a lot better as long as I don't go on a really windy day, which I'll aim not to. If the weather's not great, I'll just carry on doing what I'm doing at home. Mr. Feather Stitches, my husband, I don't know if I mentioned this on the Flosstube, but my husband has started stitching as well as my daughter, my oldest daughter, and he's stitching a really lovely couple of projects. So I'm really hoping that I can get him on Flosstube at some point to show you his projects. So yeah, I hope that you will welcome him if he comes on. He's stitching Leshy by uh, the Witchy Stitcher, and he's also stitching a really beautiful moth on Black Ada with some really lovely jewel toned floss that's got lots of fractionals in it. I'm really proud of him because it's only his second ever whip ever, and yeah, he's already doing fractionals and stitching on Black Ada, which I don't think my eyes would allow. So he's took to stitching like a duck has to water. My oldest daughter is doing incredibly well with her stitching. I'm really proud of her as well. She's doing a few quite complex patterns for her age. Yeah, she's doing really great and she loves it. She stitches most days as well now. Um, so yeah, it'd be nice if Mr. Feathers came on and showed you his whips. So yeah, that's all my plans. I hope you're all well, and yeah, I hope to be back soon, maybe in another couple of weeks. But I think that's a good time frame to get enough stitch to show to you. Take care of yourselves. Bye.